What up, y'all? Tina here, bruh. I liked Echo. I don't care what nobody says. The critics trashed it. They said it was horrible, but it was solid in my opinion. Now, the only downside I did have on the show is the editing was kind of wonky. You can tell that they cut and sliced and did the best that they could to make this story as compact and concise as possible, because let's keep it real. They know that majority of their audience is white boys. And I think that they know that a story about a Native American woman and her ancestral roots is just not something that their core audience is interested in. Now, if you take Echo out of that story and plop Daredevil in, and all of a sudden we're exploring his Irish roots combined with some of the action scenes in this Echo show, there will be a different conversation being had at this point in time if this was Daredevil's story. So Alaqua Cox as Maya Lopez is fire. This girl used to work at Amazon, and this is her first role, and she's killing it. There's a coldness to her, very similar to the Black Widows, and this lack of emotion can come from heartbreak of her losing two parents. Not to mention, she was also disconnected from her cousins and family at such a young age. I thought it was so interesting that they made sure to key in on her as a child being very aware of her environment. Sometimes adults think kids have no idea what's going on. They think children are just obtuse to reality, but children see a lot and they take in a lot. Once again, for this to be her first role, she was killing those action scenes. Everybody is talking about the fight between her and Daredevil. I was more hyped about the fight in the bowling alley. I thought it was so dope how they showed some of the skills of her ancestors actually mirrored some of the actions in present day with her. I know some people was not digging the ancestral background, but I was totally bought into it. It was dope, and I also loved how they changed the origin of her name, Echo. Deep stuff, and if this is not the type of content that captures your attention, then it's obvious you're not going to connect with it or understand how powerful some of the things and themes they were talking about in this show. Some people even said the finale fight didn't make sense. Yo, it made perfect sense to me. On the baseline, people are seeing and saying, oh, it was so stupid. She used her powers to make him see his trauma as a kid. How anticlimactic that is. Yeah, that's what she did. But on a deeper level, there's more context to everything around that final battle. We have historical legends of people using magic to run people off of their land. What she did to me was symbolic in a sense of she used her ancestral powers to run that white man off of the land that he was never invited to. He showed up with weapons, an army to take over, commit violence, and her ancestors said, "Not today, my boy." And she did it with the help of some of her great-great-grandmothers. Very reminiscent to some of the scenes in Lovecraft Country. Y'all, don't make Echo a mutant. I like that she is powered by her ancestral roots. She's everything that's genetically inside of her. Ooh, that kind of does sound like a mutant. She might be a mutant. Random fun fact, we do have confirmation that some of Namor's ancestors or even tribesmen were in episode 2 of Echo.
So in the second episode, we visit a section of America pre-European contact, right? And we also got to see Mayan dignitaries from the Yucatan.
I just want to say I love biscuits. He was the perfect comic relief, and if you're someone who has a lot of cousins, we all have a cousin Biscuit. Meaning he's the one cousin that you can call up and coerce to do things with you that maybe he shouldn't be doing. Like, boy, don't do the homework today. We're finna go hang out. I love biscuits. I also thought it was fun that they showed that her and Daredevil actually squared up during the time frame of the blip. At least we now have some confirmation that her, Kingpin, and Daredevil survived the snap. Hey, for that to be Echo's first mission, she was rocking and rolling with Matt Murdock. Now, I do think he was holding back. He probably was like, hey man, I really don't want to hurt this girl, so let me get on up out of here. I don't want to see a Daredevil and Echo relationship, okay? Their age gap is kind of weird. Let's toss that storyline. We don't need to do that, okay? Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of Kingpin has always been unique to me. I can't even describe how he embodies this character. It's so distinctive because he doesn't play him like the stereotypical crime boss that we see in movies or TV shows. Sometimes those mob bosses or cartel leaders are just straight up menacing, intimidating, aggressive, just out of control at times. Vincent plays Kingpin with a mixture of villainy, anxiety, softness, terror, insecurity, and brute force all mixed up together. It reminds me kind of like how Jonathan Majors played He Who Remains, because there's a sense of, okay, he's a little quirky, but it's something a little scary about this dude. I'm in the Kingpin fan club. It took me a while to get here, but I'm officially bought in, especially now that Daredevil is officially considered part of the MCU. I now gotta look at my list of top MCU villains and see where Kingpin falls in. His relationship with Echo is so toxic, but you can't help but to watch it, because there's also this question of what's so fascinating about Maya that he wants to kind of keep her close. Like, he was connected to her as a kid before he decided to kill her father. Because some people say, well, he keeps her close because he killed her father. No, there was a connection there as a young child, very similar to Thanos and Gamora. So it's always run through my mind like, why are you so close to Echo? Maybe we'll find out soon. Now, the Devil's Reign. It's evident that this is where we're headed. So for y'all that don't know, the Devil's Reign is a storyline where Kingpin becomes the mayor of New York, and he has a mission to get rid of all the superhero vigilantes running through the streets of New York, like your Spider-Mans, Daredevils, Moon Knights, etc. I never thought I'd be so interested in the ground level stuff. When Jonathan Majors started playing Kang, I was all bought in on the multiversal side. That's all I really cared about. But since we don't know what's going on with that, I'm now totally interested into what's going on in New York and the ground level. I want to see Echo, Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Punisher, Luke Cage, all going after Kingpin. Yes, I'm here for it. I now want to see these stories. Whereas before it was like, I'll watch Daredevil, but I'm really not interested. It's on Netflix. It's not connected. Now I'm in. I want to see. I want to know what's going on. And I hope Marvel leans so heavy into making Kingpin the reflection of Donald Trump. And they're gonna need a good writer to pull this off. Because how do you take this version of Kingpin who's so reserved and thrust him into the spotlight in a Donald Trump-esque kind of way? They should definitely lean into the fear-mongering of vigilantes and superheroes. Don't shy away from borders like Donald Trump. He can even say things like, our city of New York, everything in these borders are gonna be safe. That's all that crazy rhetoric that Trump was, spitting out. They are clearly laying the groundwork for Kingpin to become mayor, and I want this storyline to really, really be fleshed out. I want to see Kingpin in Captain America 4, in the Thunderbolts, and Spider-Man 4, and of course in Daredevil. Yes, cut the check for Vincent D'Onofrio. Put him everywhere. The same way Marvel was gonna have Kang showing up all over the universe, that is what they need to do for the ground level with Kingpin. He should be a presence in all these shows taking place in like the United States, Armor Wars, Ironheart, Thunderbolt, everything. Kingpin should be everywhere. But that's all I have for today. How do you guys feel about the Echo show? And are you guys interested in the Devil's Reign and Kingpin possibly becoming the mayor of New York? Leave your comments below. Peace.